What's up, guys? It's your boy Ty. If you weren't here on Wednesday, no worries. We're going to get you caught up as we go into our Bible study this morning. So on Wednesday night, we jumped back into the book of John. We're back in our Exposed series and looking at how every story of Jesus in the book of John reveals something true about Jesus or the Bible or ourselves or some combination of those three to us. And so in John chapter 5, we looked at the story of this guy who had been at the pool of Bethesda for like 38 years. We called him Gabe, so it was just easier to talk about him. But what we saw was Jesus told this man to get up and walk, and he'd been paralyzed for 38 years. That was a really weird thing for Jesus to do. But what we learned and what Jesus exposed to us in this story, the truth we learned about God, is that God is trustworthy, even when he says weird things. And so sometimes he tells us to do things that sound weird to us, but they're not weird when they come from Jesus, because Jesus is God. And God knows on the other side of us obeying him, on the other side of us saying yes to whatever God has asked us to do, is life and blessing that we never could have imagined if we just looked at the circumstances around us. So today, we are going to look in the book of Acts in chapter 9. We're going to talk about this truth and see it in another place in the Bible, in a story about two guys named Ananias and Saul. This story happens right after Saul has been converted to follow Jesus. So most people didn't know what was going on in his life yet. He was so hardcore into following God in the Old Testament ways that anybody who said they followed Jesus, he didn't feel like they were actually really following God. So he would go so far as to even beat them up and kill them. And this is what he had just stopped doing. The story right before this in Acts chapter 9 verses 1 through 9 is the story of how God changes Saul's heart. And he's about to become Paul and start his whole new life as we know him. But this story with Ananias is where that part picks up. So if you have your Bible, turn it to the book of Acts chapter 9. It is the fifth book in the New Testament. We're going to dive in and look at this story together and hopefully learn something a little more about Jesus, grow a little closer to him as we look at this together today.